The lemur's unique traits. The often striped tail of the lemur, a primate found only on the island nation of Madagascar, is just one of this animal's unique qualities. While most primates eat only during the day, the lemur eats during the day and at night. And while most primates primarily eat fruit, the lemur primarily eats leaves. Okay, so here we have to decide what to do with this ant. So I'm talking about the difference between other primates and lemurs. So one difference is that the lemur eats during the day and at night. And the other difference is the lemur eats leaves. So ant makes sense here. So I like option A, which doesn't fit here and so doesn't fit here. And I can't delete it because I have a comma here. So if I delete it, then I'll have a run-on. So the best answer is option A. A 2017 study conducted by an international team of scientists suggests that a lack of nitrogen in Madagascar's fruits may have caused the lemur to develop these unusual feeding traits through evolution. Now here I have to decide the correct form of the verb, and the subject for this verb is a 2017 study, which is singular. And because I have a singular subject, I should have a singular verb. So it should be suggests. The study suggests that a lack of nitrogen may have caused the lemur to develop these feeding traits. Nitrogen, a key element found in all proteins, is one of the most important factors in any animal's survival. It is important because proteins are used for functions such as building muscle and moving oxygen through the bloodstream. Which choice most effectively combines the sentences? So survival, the importance is that, and it is because, important, since, and as. Now, if I look at option D, and I read it with the rest of the sentence, it says, nitrogen, a key element found in all proteins, is most as proteins are used for functions such as building muscle. So I already am talking about being one of the most important factors. So I don't have to repeat the word important. And it is because is already understood when I say that it is the most important factor. So D is the best answer. Many primates obtain a large proportion of their dietary nitrogen from fruit, so the researchers suspected that Madagascar's fruit had insufficient levels of nitrogen for the lemur. Without it, lemurs' bodies cannot synthesize enough protein to live. Now here, the options are get a bunch, bring in lots, and procure a preponderance. So in questions like this, where I have to choose the correct phrase, I need to look at the tone of the passage. So it has to be formal, and it should not be exaggerated or extreme. So these two are out because they're not formal, right? I'm talking about dietary nitrogen. So get a bunch or bring in lots is not formal. And procure a preponderance is just extreme. You don't have to say that. You can simply say obtain a large proportion of their dietary nitrogen from fruit. Okay, so to get an answer, the scientists tested the levels of nitrogen in fruit from multiple primate habitats. Sites were chosen in continental Africa, South America, and Madagascar because primate families in these locations all have the same relative nitrogen requirements. Now here I have a list, so I can simply put a comma here, continental Africa, comma, South America, and Madagascar, right? So this is out. This comma is wrong, so this is out, and this is wrong, so this is out. So B is the right answer. At the continental African sites in Uganda and Cameroon, however, the scientists found fruit to have nitrogen concentrations of 1.53 and 1.44%. The South American sites yielded similar results with nitrogen concentrations in fruit, and then we have the rest of it, right? Now here I have to decide the right connector. And I don't really need a connector here because I'm talking about why these sites were chosen, because they had the same relative nitrogen requirements, the primates who lived here. And then I'm talking about the amount of nitrogen in the fruit found in the African sites. So however, likewise, or therefore, none of these make sense here. So just delete this underlined portion. The South American sites yielded similar results with nitrogen concentrations in fruit of 1.6% in Ecuador and 1.3% in Argentina. Okay. So here we see the graph shows 1.6% for both Argentina and Ecuador. So I'm going to change that. Yeah, 1.59, right? 1.6% in Argentina and 1.59, slightly less in Ecuador. So it's C. Madagascar's levels, however, were lower. Fruit selected from one side there showed a nitrogen concentration of only 0.6%. So that is not true because you can see that the concentration is above 0.8%. The fruit selected from there showed nitrogen concentrations that were lower than those at the South American sites, but similar to those found at the continental African sites. So this is also wrong. Fruit selected from both sides there showed nitrogen concentration of 0.9. Yeah, that seems right because it is between 0.8 and 1. So this should be my answer. None of the fruits showed nitrogen concentration above 0.8. That's wrong. Although it remains unclear if primates in areas other than Madagascar acquire all the nitrogen they need by eating fruit, the researchers knew from prior studies that food with a nitrogen concentration of 0.9% is below the minimum amount of nitrogen that a primate requires. These data indicated to scientists that the lower levels of nitrogen in Madagascar fruit likely forced the lemurs to start eating nitrogen-rich leaves so that their bodies could synthesize protein. So here need to use the past tense because I'm talking about why they started doing this, why they started eating. So likely forced is the past tense, so this seems good. None of this is in the past tense, so A is the best answer. In addition, the lemur's tendency to eat both day and night may be an adaptation it developed due to limited nitrogen. Lemurs may need to eat for more hours a day to meet their dietary needs. As Abigail Derby Lewis, one of the study's ecologists, says, okay, one of the study's ecologists. So we are talking about one study. So I cannot have studies. So A and D are out. Yeah. And ecologists is not possessive, right? So I cannot have an apostrophe here. So B. Knowing how and why they evolved in the direction they have from their diet to social structure and cognition is crucial in helping to inform effective conservation approaches. The writer wants to add the following sentence: both unique traits have key implications for protecting these endangered primates. Okay. So the first trait is that they eat nitrogen-rich leaves. The second trait is that they eat both day and night. So I think it should go after that sentence because I'm talking about both unique traits, right? So the traits are already spoken of in sentence 1 and sentence 2. And then I can say they have key implications of protecting these endangered primates because that is what Abigail is talking about in terms of conservation. So after sentence 2. Okay, let's grade this. A, B, D, A, B. A, B, D, A, B. Number 6, D, C, C, A, B. D, C, C, A, B. And 11, C.